Hey guys, so this is the first lesson that we're going to do on revision for matrices. What I'm going to do today is go over the multiple choice work solutions, and then you can use that to compare your answers. Make sure you go through it first, have a crack yourself before having a look at these solutions videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to rewrite the whole question, I'm just going to go through the solution. So have your answers in front of you while I go through it up here. Now question 1 says the values of A and B respectively are. Alright, so we've got two matrices here, equaling a third one, and in there we got two unknowns. We need to work it out. Now this is just normal matrix subtraction. So in the top right we have the A there. We are subtracting. In the top right of the second one we're subtracting -1, and then that's equaling 2. Alright, so here it's just like normal algebra really. We have to solve for A. Now I'm just going to simplify this a little bit. Minus a negative is plus. Alright, so something plus 1 equals 2 must be 1. Alright, so A equals 1. That already eliminates options C, D, and E, so it has to be either A or B. Now we just need to work out what B is. So that one is in the bottom right corner, so it's 2 minus B equals 1. 2 minus something equals 1. Again, the answer here must be 1. A equals 1, B equals 1. So the answer for question 1 is A. Question 2 is just an order question. So we have a pretty big matrix here. We just need to work out how many rows and how many columns it has. So you look through, you count. It has 4 rows, 3 columns. It's a 4 by 3 matrix, meaning our answer is C. Alright, so for question 3, we have a matrix here. They show the airline ticket price between 4 cities, Perth, Melbourne, Hobart, and Sydney. Basically, we need to interpret some of the information in this one. So the cost to fly from Sydney to Hobart. Alright, so if you look at your matrix in the question, from at the top, 2 down the side, if you look at the intersection of where Sydney and Hobart is, you have the number 80. So make sure you go from Sydney to Hobart, not the other way around, because it will change the price. Sydney to Hobart is $80. That's the answer, so that one is B. Question 4 uses the same information. Passenger flies from one city and then onto another with the total cost of the flight being $320. The order in which the plane flew between the 3 cities was. Alright, this one's best done by trial and error. So go through each one of those and work out how much it's going to add up to. The first one, Sydney to Melbourne to Perth. Alright, so from Sydney to Melbourne is 50, so this is for A. And then from Melbourne to Perth is 140, which is a total of $190. So it's not that one. So you would eliminate option A. I'm not going to go through all of them, I'm going to skip straight to the answer. Being question D. D says Perth to Sydney to Hobart. So Perth to Sydney is 240. And then from Sydney to Hobart is 80 for a grand total of $320. So D's my answer. So with that one, after you've gone from one city to the other and then you're going to a third city, you need to go back up the top from that one to the next one. Alright, question 5 is a bit trickier. Here we're asked to set up a system of equations and then put it into a matrix equation. So Sarah purchased 2 apples and 3 bananas from her local market for $3.80. This is going back to linear. This is a crossover between our linear topic that we did in Jumpstart and this one. Later that week, she went back to the market and purchased 4 more apples and 4 bananas for $6.20. A matrix equation that could be set up to determine the price of a single apple and banana is. So we're not actually just asked to solve for it. We're just asked to set it up. I'm going to write it out in a bit more of a word form first and then put it into the matrix form. Keep in mind that the question has it in the form of x and y, not a and b, so when we find our answer, it's going to look like that. So here we have 2 apples and 3 bananas is equal to $3.80, so now at 3.8. The second time she goes, 4 apples and 4 bananas is equal to $6.20. Alright, so instead of apples, we're going to write x. Instead of bananas, we're going to write y. So 2x and 3y is equal to $3.80 or 3.8. 4 apples and 4 bananas is equal to 6.2. Oops, I wrote B. Alright, so now we're just going to take that information, put it into a matrix form. Alright, hopefully remember how to do this. Take the coefficients from the first equation, 2 and 3. Take it from the next one, 4 and 4. The 2 variables that we want to solve for, x and y, and then the 2 answers. Alright, look through your answers, see which one matches up with that. If you go through, you'll see that it's option A. So A for question 5. Question 6. The matrix that represents the product is. So we got 2 matrices there. We got a 2 by 3 and a 3 by 1. Because this is multiple choice, it would be pretty, not stupid, but it's pretty unnecessary to use your, to do that one by hand. I would definitely use your CAS for this one. You're welcome to do it by hand if you want, but really that's just going to waste time that can be used on other questions. So with questions like this, where you're not required to show your working, always use your calculator. So I'm not going to do that one in its full form. I'm just going to write the answer out. If you type it into your calculator correctly, you should get this. You should be able to work out from the order of the 2 matrices that it's going to be a 2 by 1. and 178 for your 2 other ones. So the answer for question 6 is A. Alright, question 7. The population age structure in percentages in 2010 for selected countries is shown in the following table. A 3 by 1 matrix that could be used to represent the percentage of population across the 3 age groups for Indonesia is. Alright, so it's asking specifically for Indonesia, so we can ignore the information from Australia and China. The main mistake people make with this question is not reading that it should be 3 by 1. A lot of people will write a 1 by 3 because that's how it's given in the table. So in that table it says 27, 67, 5.6, but it wants a 3 by 1. That's going to be a column matrix, 3 by 1. So it's just taking those 3 numbers, 27, 67.4 and 5.6, but putting them into a column matrix. That's 3 by 1. So if we write that out, first number being 27, the next one being 67.4, lucky last 5.6. That's all it is, which is option E. So with that question, just make sure you read it properly to understand what type of matrix it wants. How are you all going so far? 7 out of 7, I hope? Wouldn't expect anything less. Alright, question 8 is also a bit of a trial and error. Matrix A has an order of 3 by 2, so I might write this. A is 3 by 2. Matrix B has an order of 1 by 3. And matrix C has an order of 2 by 1. Alright, which of the following matrix multiplications is not possible? Alright, not. Again, I'll just test the first one and then show you the answer. So option A says AC. Up to you how you want to work this one out, but the best way I think is just to write the orders next to each other and test if that middle number is the same. So A was a 3 by 2, C was a 2 by 1. The middle numbers are the same, therefore that multiplication is possible, so that's not our answer. I'm going to skip to the answer, which is C. So B times C, B is 1 by 3, C is 2 by 1. Two middle numbers are different, therefore that multiplication is not possible. The answer is C. Question 9. If matrix A is equal to that, 16, 15, 10 and 9, then inverse of A is which one of the following? Again, I don't see why you would do it by hand when you can just do it on the CAS. Hopefully you remember from that video I showed you, to find the inverse of a matrix on the CAS, you simply raise it to the power of -1. So in your CAS, you can just simply type that matrix in, put it to the power of -1, and what you get is this. Which is option E. All right, last question. To help him answer 10 multiple questions, Trey using the following matrix. Trey answered B to question 1 and then used the matrix to answer the remaining 9 questions. What was Trey's answer to question 6? All right, this one is a bit of a confusing one. I am going to draw this matrix up. So he kind of had a bit of a methodical way to answer each multiple choice question, and that was shown in this matrix. A 1 represents where he chose that question next. A 0 means he did not choose that question next. So up the top, you'll see it says this question. Down the side, it says next question. So we have, I'm just going to write this and next. So all these questions, all these responses were based off the previous one, which is not a good way to do a multiple choice test, but our friend Trey decided to do that. Alright, so the matrix looks like this. So what this means is if he chooses B, this option, you go down that column and where you see the 1, that's the question he's choosing next time. So it means he's choosing C. So after he chooses B, it means he's going to choose C the next question. Then once you've chosen C, you go up to here and you go down C. Wherever the 1 is, that's the next question. So the question says in the test, he answered B to question 1. So we need to find what his answer to question 6 was. So question 1, he answered B. Alright, we go down wherever we see the 1, that's what he answered for that question. So for the question after 1, he answered C. Back up the top, after C, that means he then chooses D. Back up the top, after D, he chooses A. Back up the top, after A, he chooses E. Back up the top, after E, he chooses E again. It looks like he's going to get stuck there. So, after question 6, he chose E, which means that The answer was C. Hopefully you got 10 out of 10 on those. If not, hopefully you understand where you went wrong. If you still have some questions that you're not sure about, or not sure why you went wrong or how you went wrong, please make sure you ask me on Google Classrooms.